it represents our disobedience.
Kind of.
And the second precept that pretty much says is it's in Second Ezra chapter 2. I'm gonna start at verse 38.
You can turn it down if you want, man. It's
All
blasting.
right, arise up and
But hold on
stand.
a sec. Hold on a sec. Let's get there real quick. Hold on.
Uh, this Second Ezra
Second.
chapter, apocrypha. Second Ezra chapter 2, verse 38. I'm gonna read 38 through 40. Yes.
2, 8 to 40. All right. You got it out.
Second Ezra chapter 2, verse 38. Arise up and stand, behold behold the number of those who are seated at the feast of the Most High, which are departed from the shadow of the world, and have received glorious garments of the Most High. Take thy number, O Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of Yah.
You know that's gonna be Lennon.
Right? That linen.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Lennon.
Yep.
Highest vibration of fabric.
Mhm.
Yeah, you see that same, to piggyback off what Josh just said, Revelation 19:8 will go on too.
That's exactly what, that's really going there. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like it is Matthew 22. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Matthew 22. We were. Yep. Revelation 19. I was thinking.
And I wanted ESV. Let me not bring that up. Shut up there.
What? No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Come on now.
You gotta say it. You're right. You gotta say it now.
It just says bright and pure, not white.
White, right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because you know that they want to associate white
Exactly.
with purity. When in reality, most of the time in the Bible where it says white, is the word is actually bright. In my ESV, it has 1980. It was granted her to clothe herself with fine linen, bright and pure. Because you know how we wear. Now we do white linen here. I don't know if that was us, because our clothes are typically what? Colorful.
Yeah.
Right. Bright and pure. So I didn't want to. I just.
Yeah. And it says, "For the fine linen is the righteous deeds of the saints."
The deeds. That's exactly right.
All praises. All praises. You've been wanting to bring that out since last week, right? We didn't get
that
this.
vibration been killing him.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That's dope. That's dope.
Good stuff.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's right. Because we had brought out Job 19:4.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, that's good right there. All praises. I appreciate you, man. And so now we're off to, what's that? Starting at verse 11.
The lepers.
And we're going to break down 11 through 19. I'll read it. Luke 17, 11 through 19. On the way to Jerusalem, he was passing along between Samaria and Galilee. And as he entered a village, he was met by 10 lepers who stood at distance and lifted up their voices, saying, Yahushua Adonai, have mercy on us. When he saw them, he said to them, Go and show yourselves to the priests. Again, going back to the law. That's the law. So the lepers had to go and show themselves to the priests. I think that's Leviticus 14, I believe. And it says, and as they went, they were cleansed. Verse 15. Then one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back, praising the Most High with a loud voice. And he fell on his face at Yahushua's feet, giving him thanks. Now he was a Samaritan, or northern tribes. Verse 17. Then Yahushua answered, Were not 10 cleansed? Where are the 9? Was no one found to return and give praise to the Most High except this foreigner?
Give praise to Jesus.
Give praise to the Most High. My man. Exactly right. And he said to him, Rise and go your way. Your faith has made you well. All right. So That's the 10 lepers. I'm going to go into, and basically, I mean, we need to be grateful to the Most High for everything, right?
Yes.
I always say, don't take anything for granted. The fact that you woke up, the fact that you in good or decent health, and right, able to clothe yourself and all of these things, we need to be grateful for everything. The fact that, you traveled, even if you live 10 minutes away, the fact that you traveled here, because traveling mercies, my man had put in a chat yesterday. Um, what do you say? Travel, basically said traveling mercies are not, what do you say? Yes, traveling mercies are not automatic.
No, for sure, but we seen all
Right.
the other crashes and
Exactly.
right.
You know what I mean? And I mean, I've known people who've gotten into accidents and, fatal accidents 5 minutes from their house, leaving their driveway. So we need to be, grateful to the Most High for everything.
More likely.
Exactly. Close to your house, right? See what I'm saying? So I gotta make sure I see these people. Y'all let me know if anybody is
That's how I be doing.
yeah, right.
It's hard to
Same
do
thing,
it
right?
all.
Yeah. Let me know if anybody's hand is up or anything like that because I have another page over this one. So
Mom said Claudia said she's having trouble hearing you. I don't know if she still is, but she's still there.
Cause everybody else, well, we
Can
hear,
ev-
yeah, they've been talking, so.
Claudia, can you hear us?
Maybe her end, cause it can't be, unless it went out now.
Yeah, maybe. She said it, but
Claudia?
I can hear everybody else, but you're real low.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, it affects that too. It affects the microphone.
Yeah.
It shouldn't, right?
Chris is the IT director, he's not here. You just have to let it be loud. I can move it over further away from it.
I'll move it closer. I can move closer.
No, I mean, if you turned it down, it may be, I have never done that before, cause it normally sits over there.
Right. We used to sit on
Yeah,
the
I
table.
used to sit it there.
Okay. I'll try to lean up. But everyone else can hear? Everyone can hear? Am I good now?
Yeah, you good.
Okay. All
I
right.
can hear you good.
Okay. Cool. All right. So I just wanted to go to let's go to, of course, keep your hand on Luke 17, as far as being grateful and thankful to the Most High. First Samuel chapter 2. Here it is. The Most High, excuse me, Yahushua had cleansed these lepers, but again, they praised the Most High. They didn't praise Yahushua. They praised the Most High because healing comes from the Most High. We're vessels, that it comes through. So they praised the Most High, but only the one praised him, actually.
Yeah.
The one thanked him, I should say. Yeah, the 9 turned away and took him for granted. So,
And it said that this person that gave praise to the Most High and pretty much gratitude to Yahushua was a foreigner.
right.
And there
Northern
was an
tribe.
emphasis that he was a foreigner. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yep.
And that means it's safe to assume that the rest of these lepers were natural born Israelites that were ungrateful.
I think all of them.
Yeah, I think they were.
They're all.
Yeah, I think they were all
The
Israelites.
foreigner is Samaritan.
Yeah,
Right.
the Samaritan was northern tribe.
that's why the
Yeah,
shock came.
Yeah, because remember he told them to go to the priest.
He would preach all kinds of lot. Yeah.
Told them to go to the priest, which was the law. You know what I mean? Leviticus 14. So
You said first time what?
1 Samuel 2, and this is basically Hannah's prayer after the Most High grants her petition. Remember, Hannah was barren. She was barren. The Most High grants her petition. So Hannah's prayer, her being thankful, starting at verse 1, 1 Samuel chapter 2. And Hannah prayed and said, my heart exalts in Yah. My horn is exalted in Yah. My mouth derides my enemies because I rejoice in your salvation. There is none Quadash or set apart like Yah, for there is none beside you. There is no rock like our Elohim. All praises. So she made sure to give thanks to the Most High because the Most High granted her petition of having a child. Right? Psalm 34. Psalm 34, 1 to 3. I'm gonna read that in Septuagint. I have the Septuagint. Or I can read it.
Say 34.
Yeah, Psalm 34. Well, it'd be 33 in the Septuagint. Yeah, I know the Roman nose be backing you up.
Yeah, I'm wrong.
I got it down.
Me twisted.
But make sure you speak loud enough so
Count
you can hear.
on my fingers.
Starting at the beginning.
Yeah, 1 to 3.
All right. Psalms 34 in the Septuagint. A psalm of Dawah when he changed his countenance before Abimelech and let him go, and he departed. I will bless Yah at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall boast my soul shall boast itself in Yah. Let the meek hear and rejoice. Magnify, magnify you, Yah, with me, and let us exalt his name together.
Yeah. And basically, David wrote this psalm basically after narrow, I think he was escaping death,
Yes.
right? The Philistines, he was escaping death. So he showed gratitude to the Most High. But it's not only in the times of, say, the Most High's, saving us or the Most High doing something miraculous with us. We should be grateful to the Most High at all times. And for me, I know the Most High dealt with me in a way that was kind of, profound. Um, I was paralyzed basically, and of course he had, gave me healing and things like that or whatever. And, basically took it for granted. Um, but then kind of, there was something else that was going on in my life that, I had petitioned the Most High for, and, the prayer wasn't answered in that time. So I call myself being upset. Now, this is literally right after I'm now walking and everything, got my gait correct and everything after being paralyzed. And, like I said, I had been praying for some things, some other things, and the Most High, didn't answer at that time. And I called myself being upset. I said, you know what? I'm not doing this no more. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to pray no more. I'm not going to read the Bible. I don't want to read right now. This, not whatever. And he jacked me up. He jacked me up, man, to where I had no choice, to catch myself and say, yo, what am I doing? I was literally paralyzed from head to toe, bro. I couldn't blink, couldn't do any of that. And because the prayer wasn't answered in that time, not saying he wasn't going to answer it, but it wasn't answered in that time, I got upset with him. So we need to be, grateful to the Most High for every single thing, not taking anything for granted. And Habakkuk 3, this is one of my favorites. Habakkuk 3, verses 17 and 18. One of my favorite scriptures as far as praising the Most High at all times, no matter what's going on. Habakkuk 3.
Is that in the canon?
Yeah.
Mhm. It's in the midst of the prophets.
Write the vision and make it plain.
Yeah,
That's what it's most known
yeah,
for.
yeah, right. That's the most known for. I did a thing on that. Yeah. But yeah, so Habakkuk 3, excuse me, verses 17 and 18 in the Septuagint reads, for though the fig tree shall bear no fruit, and there shall be no produce on the vines, the labor of the olive shall fail, and the fields shall produce no food. The sheep have failed from the pasture, and there are no oxen at the cribs. Yet I will exult in Yah. I will joy in the Most High, my Savior. Who's the Savior? Right? Right? So basically, he's saying if everything else fails, everything else, nothing is going my way, nothing is bright right now, everything is just jacked up. I'm still going to exalt in Yah.
What the song? My grace, my protection is
It's
sufficient.
sufficient.
My power is made perfect in
Your
your
weakness.
weakness.
Uh,
My power is made perfect in your weakness.
and those are one of the that's one of the that's Second Corinthians, is that 9 or 12? Can't remember.
I thought it was 12. I had no idea.
Josh, I know.
I think it's
Second Corinthians 12.
12, yeah.
Yeah. Speak up now.
Starting at verse 9, right?
Uh,
Starting at verse 9?
9.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start calling Josh the concordance.
That's you.
So,
Well, no, it's not starting at verse 9.
it's where he
uh,
plays about the thorn in his flesh.
Yes, I think it's 6, I think.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then
2 Corinthians
To
12, starting at verse
Byron's
6.
point, conceptually thinking, think about what all Saul suffered for
Hmm.
carrying out the plan of the Most High through Yahushua, instructing him to do it.
God.
So he's like, I prayed 3 times,
Right.
that this
Take
thorn
the
in my
thorn out of his
flesh,
flesh.
whatever that is,
Yep.
it was not a positive thing.
Yep.
I don't, but if you're gonna read it.
No. Yeah, I mean, think about that. Pray 3 times. I was just saying that. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
petitioning the Most
Yeah,
High,
yeah.
for something, but he has a thorn in his flesh, and he's petitioning the Most High. Please take this thing away from me. And when you read it though, what does he say?
Yeah,
Right.
It's real.
When you read that though,
Because you're talking about somebody this ain't just some random person.
right,
You know what I'm trying to say.
right,
I mean, there's no respect of person, but the sense of his mission.
Right.
So he could have been, I don't know, I'm just freestyling. He could have been praying, this is a hindrance to me in having to do all this traveling. You know what I mean? To
Yep.
go, because obviously they walking and whatever
They walking,
they're doing to get to
yep,
these places,
yep.
right? So it doesn't give us any detail about why or what it is purposefully,
right.
but it, interesting that the Most High gave him the answer to the riddle.
But doesn't
read
it
it
say
then.
in the beginning to keep me from becoming conceited?
There you go.
But that's what I'm saying. But
That's what
again,
I'm
we
saying,
don't know. That's exact.
Like
Yes.
to ground you.
Right.
Like, so you don't exalt yourself.
Right.
He's
Read the whole thing. Somebody read it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then even before that, remember what Yahweh Shai told Ananias. Remember
Oh,
Paul was
yeah.
supposed to go. Remember
Yeah.
he said
When
I
he
must show him what things, basically Yahweh Shai is speaking to Ananias about Paul.
Yeah.
I must show Paul the things he must suffer,
Yes.
the things he must suffer
Yeah.
for my name's sake. So
I hate to say it. That's a common thing,
it's it.
right? In the
That's it.
sense of when you sign up for this, there's going to be some form or fashion of suffering
Of testing.
because that's the testimony.
Right.
If I'm flossing,
Right.
Yeah. Of course, that's like what Shaitan said
Right.
to Yah about Job. Of course,
Of course
he
he
gonna
gonna
play you.
exactly.
You ain't.
Yeah,
Just, everything is
And
lovely.
that's right.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly
Put him
right.
under some pressure and watch what happens.
Exactly right.
Because that's my power is made perfect in your
Your
weakness.
weakness.
Right.
Yep. Exactly right.
Plus,
Everything.
it allows you to be able to identify, like, you can identify with someone else who has.
It's
Well, I
gone
say that
through,
all the
right?
time. When I first got
Me too.
saved,
Me too.
and
I appreciate it.
I would look at Pastor
Oh, okay.
Anderson and be like, I ain't gonna never be like that. You know what I mean? Like, ain't no way in the world I can be. Not me, wretched as I am. I
Right.
can't be like that.
Right.
But the reality of it is honestly, nobody can. It's a front in the first place, but you know what I'm
Straight
trying
front,
to say.
man.
So the test, you overcome him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of your testimony. And somebody said it last week. The test is in testimony.
Right.
That's it. That's it.
It's in the testimony. So if somebody goes through, I'm like, okay, Yah is real, which is because think about it, it's counterintuitive. It says in Acts 5, 4, 5, or 6, whichever one about that as people were murdered,
Right.
the numbers
Numbers
grew.
grew.
Yeah.
Yeah, the numbers grew.
Because people are drawn to conviction.
Con.
You must be seriously convicted about this thing. It's got to be real if you're willing to die for it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? That's how I took it when I have read that over time, is that they were willing to die for it. And that's what people will sign up for in all honesty. Right.
Right.
They'll sign up for that because it's something that tangible and that palpable that they're willing to die for. So I need to engage myself in this because it's that real. You know what I mean? It's that real.
And that is that real. That hope
Yeah.
is real, to know that you know, just like what the disciples asked Yahushua, you know, when will you again return the kingdom
That's
to
right.
Yahshua?
Yeah.
Right.
So they know, we know the kingdom is for us. We have that inheritance. You know, even if we were to die off the earth right now, right? Even if we were to die off the earth, we know that because of Mashiach is first fruits, he's already conquered that,
Oh, yeah, no
right?
doubt, for sure.
We have, you know, there's a resurrection for us. You know what I mean? So we have an immense amount of hope, immense amount of hope. So yeah, I can die. It's just like with Abraham, right? Abraham and Isaac,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think in Hebrews it said that Abraham knew because the Most High had promised him a son,
Right.
promised him a son that
Yeah.
through that seed,
Yeah.
you know,
So he
he's going to be a
knew
lineage.
if I kill
If
him,
I
he
kill
gonna
him,
raise
I mean, he's going to
he
raise
gonna
him up again.
resurrect him anyway or something. He didn't know how it was gonna happen, but he knew.
But he knew,
He had Aman. It is
Right.
certain he's not gonna.
and that's the faith we need.
Yeah.
That's that faith and we need, and that assurance in the Most High, that confidence in the Most High
And see, that's
that
the
we need.
distinction between religion and what we're talking about. Is
Yeah.
religion teaches you once you do your thing, everything should be easy and lovely.
Right.
And that's I don't understand that because it doesn't. It's contrary to everything that you read.
Completely, completely,
It's contrary.
completely. You
Right.
see ancestors going through this, going through that. The text tell you, what's that text? Many are the afflictions
Yes.
of the righteous.
Yes.
The Most High will deliver you, but it says many are the afflictions.
If this isn't the realm has been turned over to Shaitan from the garden, then it if you're not going through something, you're likely on the side of
There
Shaitan.
you go.
Does that make sense?
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Exactly right.
Now,
Exactly
you
right.
know what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
And the
Right.
part that resonates a lot with me is Paul's humility and just understanding of why he's suffering. Because if you don't understand, you can be a victim. So the fact that he understands that it's through his weakness, the Most High gets
We should reach that.
exalt in that.
We stop.
That's also super important for sure. Understanding, so you're not a victim.
Absolutely. And you know, knowing Paul, of course, you know, he was persecuting
Yeah.
our people at one point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now the fact that the Most High wants to use him to reestablish the people, now he understood the mission. He
And
understood the
going
mission.
into that point, what you just said, that Shawal, or brother known as Paul, he was a persecutor of the body, but now he's coming back into the fold and bringing souls to Mashiach. It's like he's reaping what he sowed.
That's it,
You know what
basically.
I'm saying? That's
Basically.
why Yahushua said to Ananias, these are things that he had to
All
suffer from,
suffer.
because he was bringing suffering to the body, and and the Most High, he doesn't like imbalances. So to
Mm-mm.
bring so even though the Most High was using Paul, he still had to bring balance to Paul to bring forth suffering to Paul, which the reason why Paul was content in his suffering, because he knew what he was doing, or he knew the reason why, like the deeper reason why he was going through what he was going. It wasn't just the fact that, so he's bringing Sosi Hawashai. It's also the fact that I was persecuting individuals, I was persecuting the body, but now I have to pay for my price of the persecution that I was given.
And you know what? And that also goes back to that Leviticus 26:41, right? I don't wanna
I don't see a good step in front of you. Let my friend read that. I don't know if you know.
Leviticus 26 41, right? Where Mosiah says, so that I walked contrary to them and brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised heart is humbled and they make amends for their iniquity, right?
Yeah.
So Paul made, and I think in KJV it reads a little bit different. Basically it says, I think if they accept of the um punishment of their sin,
Yeah.
or whatever the case.
Yeah.
So, and that's basically what Paul's doing. He accepted. You know what? I was left at one point. I went left at one point, but you know the Most High had grace or whatever. He had mercy with me. So now he's using me to reestablish the people where he absolutely didn't have to. 'Cause Paul was literally what held the coats of the men that stoned Stephen.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
He was there watching. You know, And now Most High is using him to reestablish the people. So he knew the mission, man. He knew the mission, and that's that humility that we all need to have. You want to read that 2 Corinthians 12 too, right?
2 Corinthians 11:25. That
11:25.
first, that just jumped in my head when we were talking about something. What Paul went through.
Yeah, and then right before
Oh yeah.
on the
But
right before he goes in that, can I put out this real quick?
Yeah, come on, man. Break
All
it
right,
down,
this
brother.
is First Peter chapter 5,
Oh, yeah.
verse 6. Humble yourself, therefore, under the mighty hand of Yah, so that the proper time that he may exalt you, casting all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. Be sober minded and be watchful, for your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. Resist him firm in your faith, knowing that the same kinds of sufferings you are being experienced by your brotherhood throughout the world. And after you have suffered a little while, the Most High of all grace, who has called you to his eternal glory in the Mashiach, will himself restore, confirm, strengthen, and establish you. To him be dominion forever and ever. Amen.
Uh,
On the tip of just staying humble, staying in a state of humility, you know what I'm saying, casting everything to the Most High, being watchful, being sober, being vigilant, because the Shaitan's out here seeking to devour, seeking to deceive us, and being confident in the fact that the suffering that we facing isn't common to man. The suffering that we facing, it isn't weird in the sense of it's only us that's going through. We have a whole mashpachal, whole spiritual family that's experiencing or has experienced the same suffering, and we all going through it. And the best thing is just encourage ourselves in the Most High.
yeah, like Danny said, we all walked ourselves in the same curses. Exactly right. And that scripture was in 2 Corinthians 4. It tells you that these afflictions are accomplished in your brethren in the world.
yes,
So, we walked ourselves into these curses. So, individually we're going through, collectively we're going through as a body.
so the beauty of it is, to me, as I said, thinking about this, is that whether if we had stayed obedient, humility, to stay obedient, you have to have humility anyway.
Absolutely.
Number one, right? That's just, you can't be not humble and be obedient. That's contrary to each other. But we would have been, if it had been like all the way up until Solomon lost his mind, if it had been like that, then our humility and what Yah was doing for us would be a witness to the world, right? Now, either way, we're going to get to that point. Now, because you're disobedient, your ability to endure.
There it is.
Right.
There it is.
Because most people look and say, boy, because listen, I'm going to say this, I don't know who's on the phone, but you can take the poorest white person, they wouldn't change places
That's right.
with a wealthy
Nope.
black person.
Nope.
You see what I mean? Because they understand what we go through, so to speak.
That's
So that going through and remaining hopeful is now the witness. So it could have been easy. We made it hard. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
What I'm saying in my mind, you know what I mean? It should have been easy. Being humble in the land, David. Let's just stop it at David. At David, the whole nine. It was all lovely. Then we got disobedient. Well, I say that. Solomon got disobedient, got everything torn apart, and now you still gonna be my witness. It's just like Genesis. Now it's gonna be in pain and childbirth. You see what I mean? Versus what it should have been.
Let's talk about that. Yep. We just talked
You
about
had
that.
all the fruit. One thing you had to do. Now you made it hard. Now you're gonna bear it. You're gonna bear this in pain, birth pains now, which is what is happening. You know what I mean? But you're gonna do what I told you to do. It's just like a child. You can either get it the easy way or the hard way.
No, that's deep.
And some of us learned the hard way. Unfortunately.
I think most,
including Uncle
most,
Solomon.
yeah. Most. I mean, we see that in the text. Most learn the hard way.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but that's deep. Like what you said, man. That's that witness, man. Enduring even
witness.
through the adversity.
It's
Because I mean, you put the adversity on yourself.
We did it to ourselves.
Right. You walk yourself. And I always say, the Most High didn't put the curses upon us.
Mm-mm.
He did not put them on us.
Right, right.
We put them on ourselves.
He told you.
Because he
Deuteronomy
told us
28,
exact right.
what was gonna happen.
He told you what was going to happen if you did X, Y, and Z. If you were not
Get off the
obedient.
path.
Right.
And you had a chance to say, no, we don't want to do that. We don't accept. But we accept it.
But that's the negative of a king. The fact that we asked for a king is how we got here.
There
That's
you
right.
go.
That's
That's
right.
exactly right.
We didn't
Exactly
have, we had a king, it was Yah,
That's right.
right? And then
Yep.
we had judges
That's right.
who were
We're governing.
governing.
Yep.
There you go, I couldn't think of the
Mhm.
word. Who were governing. We decided we want a king, so now you want a king. Now the nation is the king is viewed as the nation.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Mm.
The king is the nation, because it doesn't
Mm.
say in the Bible that everybody was worshiping other gods. It says
It's
Solomon.
Solomon.
Right.
That's
Right.
exactly right.
Right.
That's
Because
exactly
we probably at the crib like,
Right.
what is this dude doing?
That's
Right.
You trying to get
exactly
us booted out of here?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's
Can't say nothing to the king.
King, so.
this all started with the king thing. You want a king? Okay, I'm gonna give you Saul.
And he told us what was gonna happen if we had a king.
If you have a
He
king,
still
though,
said, all right, give us
Yeah.
a king.
But to Danny's point, though, I mean, that's huge. To Danny's point, that's why we need to, although we are a nation, that's why we have to check ourselves individually,
individual.
right?
Right.
Examine
Right.
ourselves to make sure that we are in the faith because the individual affects the nation.
That's
That's right.
right.
That's right.
Like what I do is not just going to affect Myron.
That's
It's
right.
going to affect my family. It's going to affect the Mashapak around me.
100%.
You see what I'm saying? Because I always say, you don't have to know that somebody's watching you, but people are watching.
100%.
They are watching. They are watching. I'm telling you, people are looking for a glimmer of hope.
Yes.
They're looking for a glimmer of hope, a glimmer of light, because we live in a dark, dark world. Because the foolish nations are in control.
Yeah.
Hasatan, it's his voice. He's the prince of this world right now, isn't he?
Reared his witnesses through that.
Right? So the people are looking for that glimmer of hope. So when we can, like we're doing right now, break these scripts down and to know what Abba is telling us, to walk in that light and to endure, to be able to get over whatever hurdles that are before us. Because I think Josh read it last week. Was that Ecclesiasticus chapter 2?
Mhm,
When you come to the Most High,
mhm.
prepare your soul. I know it says temptation, but it's basically prepare your soul for testing.
Testing.
Prepare your soul for testing. When you come to the Most High, prepare your soul for testing, which is in complete contrast from what the church has told us. That if you know Jesus, if you know the Most High, then hey, everything should be good. I mean, you got that pastor in Georgia talking about if you in what did he say? If you
Crazy.
what do you say? If you're broke, you're in sin.
What?
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
And then somebody came back, and I saw that on Instagram. Some dude came back and was like, he had a little rap bar about that kind. But that's where we are now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We're just digging us deeper in the matrix.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And this prosperity gospel that's in American churches
Yeah.
is killing us. You know what I'm saying? It's killing us spiritually, it's killing us mentally, it's killing us physically, and it's adding more of a burden to us and drawing us deeper into our captivity, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
You
then,
know,
go ahead, Willie.
I think it's a dual perception because I feel like the further left it goes, the more people wake up. Because a lot of those people who fall victim to that, I don't know. I just feel like they are just an example to people who Yah speaks to. So I think it goes both ways. Just a matter of your perception.
I think if it's going both ways, it's going both ways. As in, we came out of Egypt, and the old heads got to die, and the young people got to go in. Because these old heads are wrapped around the axle with that kind of stuff. Because prosperity gospel been going on for a long time, right? So that's been going on for a long time. So I would agree with you that, but it's typically going to be now we're abnormal, in our age of when we came into the knowledge of versus the younger people whose mind has not been as molded into that situation and circumstance. But I do agree with you, but it's really the birth of the younger folk
Yeah.
out of it. Because you're going to argue up and down with some older heads like our age and above about
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
They ain't-
So we gotta come out of her, my people, man. Those like Danny always says, I always say it, man. Those tapes playing in the
Yeah,
head,
you gotta
we
erase
gotta,
that somehow.
and it's not to speak about anybody because again, just like the text says, no man can come to Mashiach unless the Father draws him.
That's right.
And anybody can be. We don't know. The Father knows. Anybody can be drawn. But I will say there are people that enjoy the Matrix.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. He gonna let you be where you wanna be. Most people.
There's a classic line. I know this is real, not real, but I'm gonna enjoy it anyway.
There you go. Exactly right. I forgot about that.
To that point, because
Yep.
reality was tough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
right.
right.
See what I mean?
Right.
It wasn't comfortable.
It
Wasn't
wasn't
comfortable.
comfortable.
Didn't taste good.
It wasn't comfortable.
Wasn't comfortable.
And then you knew that when you knew that when it was overcome, that it was gonna be great.
Right.
But you don't even want to go
That's right.
through,
Nobody want to go through anything.
to go full circle
Right.
to Paul.
Right.
So Paul said I was whatever shipwrecked, and I was took
Mhm.
39 lashes, and I was
Yep.
thrown out of a window, and I was all that whatever it
That's
is.
that,
all
that's
that
that scripture you want
That's
to
what I
go,
was
right?
talking
Yeah.
about.
Dude, go there. That's 2 Corinthians 11. Read that, Dylan.
2 Corinthians 11, I think 25.
Yeah. Yeah, about 2024. Or
Yes, sir.
24 through
I
like,
started 20. We started.
through like 30.
Yeah, started 22.
22. Okay. I actually looked down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like 20. I got on highlight.
Yeah. 2 Corinthians 11, starting at 22, verse 22.
Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I.
Hmm.
Are they offspring of Abraham? So am I. Are they servants of Christ? I am a better one. I'm talking like a madman with far greater labors, far more imprisonments, with countless beatings, often near death. 5 times I received at the hands of the Jews 40 lashes, less one. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. 3 times I was shipwrecked. Night and a day I was adrift at sea. On frequent journeys, in danger from rivers, danger from robbers, dangers from my own people, dangers from Gentiles, danger in the city, danger in the wilderness, danger at sea, danger from false brothers, toil and hardship, through many sleepless nights and hunger and thirst, often without food and cold and exposure. And apart from other things, there is a daily pressure on me of my anxiety for all the churches. Who is weak, and I am not weak? Who is made to fall, and I am not indignant?
Hmm.
If I boast, I will boast of the things that show my weakness. Yeah, and yeah.
All praises. Now, can any of us say that we've gone through
No.
half that?
First of all, after the last 2, I might have been.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
I've been that Denzel tear though.
Like that, exactly right. Exactly right. That tear. But I mean,
He said, I
that's
think
real
40
though.
lashes minus 1. Because 40, you couldn't take 40 lashes with that death. So I mean, there was a law about that. No, that's why it's 40 lashes
Yeah,
minus
one. That's one.
39
Yep.
lashes. But
But that's real though. That's real. And yet he was still exalting and doing the work. He was still exalting the Most High and doing the work.
which is why so many people were drawn to him.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Exactly right.
Right. If you look at any freedom fighter, that's who
Right.
is. That's who we talk about this all the
Right.
time. The Black Panther Party, the young boys, and because now it's my big age, they were younger than them. These 22, 23-year-old people, and people are drawn to them because you're willing to go through something. If you ain't willing to go through something, I'm not riding with you.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Messing with you,
You
man.
gotta go. You gotta be willing to go through something
I want you to be
because
I
that
told you.
tells me what you're going. The thing you're chasing is about.
That's it.
If you're not willing to go through something, what value? There ain't no value. There's no value in that. That's why I believe that
It's a bar, bro.
when in the wisdom of whatever that is, what it talks about the elect, they're like, these are the people.
Oh,
Because
this
see,
is all-
in your natural mind, you
Yeah.
think, why would a people that's as downtrodden, beat up, been 40 lashes minus 1, been thrown out of ships, done this, done that. They can't be the people. And that when the clouds crack, they're gonna be like, God dog it.
Yes.
They always stayed anchored in their faith. That's the witness of that. Because it's easy when you're on top. to be talking about something.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
balling nobody like that. If you ain't going through something, when I say that, I'm not meaning purposely. If you're not willing to go through something to get to the other side, then
That's it.
what is the
That's
point?
it. We're on the bottom.
What is the point?
Bottom.
I mean, we jacked the equation up, but
Yeah.
this is where we are. So this is what we got to get through. To your point, right? We got to get and be now circle full back and be appreciative of it,
Right.
because that's why I said my
Grateful.
grace, my protection is sufficient for you.
That's it.
My power is
That's it.
made perfect in your weakness.
weakness.
Because if it's you, then guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna lose humility. People, you're gonna think you the
Exactly
draw.
right.
That's why
Exactly
Yahweh
right.
Shah kept
Right.
pointing it back to the Father. Because
Exactly
think
right.
how easy it would have been for him to get caught
Exactly
up
right.
in.
Exactly right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly right. He kept pointing back
He
to Paul
keeps
with the
pointing back.
anointing that he had.
Yeah, you're not about to get me jacked up after.
All
You know what I
praises.
mean?
All
So, no,
praises.
pointing to him. Not
All
to me.
praises. All praises, family. Tell you,
Yeah,
This
same.
this is some good stuff right here, fam. I'm loving this. I pray that it is strengthening
They
our
quiet
walk.
on the phone, so I might.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Like Danny says, y'all mighty quiet on the
Yeah,
phone.
y'all mighty quiet. Y'all mighty quiet over there. I can get CL2 and Myron to say something every once in a while.
All praises. All praises.
Trav
Any-
be jumping in. Trav, you all right over there? You ain't in the delivery room, are you?
Trav listening now.
Man, y'all on fire, man. I'm just listening.
All praises, man. All praises. Trav listening now for baby sound.
Right.
Trav listening out, man. All praises. Nah, this is good, man. I love this, man. This is good. Still in there. But yes, family, just be grateful. Be grateful. Again, what's that scripture? I know it's in Proverbs. It says, and I know I'm paraphrasing. Hope deferred makes the heart sick.
I'm the king of
Yeah,
paraphrase.
right. Hope deferred make the heart
Heart
sick.
sick,
But when
that's
the
right.
desire come, it's like a what is it? It's like a I can't remember exactly what it says. Yeah. Find that. Hope deferred make the heart sick, man. So we have a great hope,
Proverbs 13:12.
Yeah, let's go there real quick. Proverbs 13:12.
Proverbs 13:12.
John, I said, yeah.
We can start at one. A wise son hears his father's instruction.
Yeah, Rock. Read that. It start right
Did y'all
there.
hear that?
That's right on.
he trying to immerse in the Septuagint. Talking to you too.
It doesn't say it, right? I don't even think it says that. Does it?
Does it say that in the Septuagint?
Yeah, this is a wise son is obedient to his father.
There you go.
No, okay.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
That's made it plain.
Well, 13:12.
Go on to number 3 since you have to.
Well, let's just read down. All right,
He
so.
who guards his lips
Oh my
guards his life, but he who speaks rashly will come to ruin.
Don't let me.
They start with
If Dylan would tell the truth, oh, you be looking in the mirror. Let's not make this personal. It's not Sunday study where we do all this. This is Myron study. Let's go.
Nah,
All right, 13:12. 13:12. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a desire fulfilled is a tree of life.
And of course,
13. Whoever despises the word brings destruction on himself, but he who reveres the commandment will be rewarded. Man, this whole thing is a bar.
It is.
This
It is.
is a bar right here. This whole thing.
I know we looking for that tree of life. I know myself, y'all. I know how I get down.
No doubt.
I mean, on a daily basis, I'm like, Abba, how long?
Yeah.
How long? How long?
No, that's real though.
You know what I mean? How long? It gets tough out here, fam. I mean, at the end of the day, none of us is saying, that it's easy. It's definitely not easy, but it is doable. Mashiach is our example, and I believe I believe that's one of the reasons, not to, not to go left field, but I believe that's one of the reasons why the church made it so that, he's like a demigod, if you will. Right.
Jesus, you know, is
Yeah,
Yahweh.
Jehovah Shai
There,
means,
Jesus.
yeah. Mashiach made him as like a demigod. So because you hear people say, "Oh, we can't keep these commandments. We can't keep the law." You hear people say that all the time. We can't keep it. Oh yeah, Jesus kept them because he was part God, right? I've heard that many times.
He is God in the church.
Right. Exactly. So that's what they say. Well, Jesus was God. He was just, God on earth, this and that, whatever. That's why he was able to do it. But see, that's not the truth. He was a man just like us. And he walked this earth without sin.
Yeah.
He came through seed. He was the seed of David, from the seed of David, from that line of David, right? And he was able to walk this earth, keeping the law, statutes, commandments, sinless. Sinless. So if it's possible for him, the anointing that was placed upon him just allowed him to go through what he went through, right? But just like the text says, just what he said, was that Psalm 82? Most I said, haven't I said that you are gods? You are gods, but you will die like any prince because of your disobedience.
And
Okay?
and add on Abraham in Genesis 17, the Most High told Abraham to walk perfectly before him.
Uh,
You know what I'm saying? Perfection in the sense of in complete relationship.
That's
right.
exactly right.
Was
Complete relationship, enduring.
enduring the madness. That's what we call to do. We're called to do endure the madness. That's
Uh,
that world is. You know what I'm saying?
uh, all praises. That's it. That's it. So now, family, we're gonna go into Mike. Yeah, because ain't much left. Yeah, ain't much.
And we got the coming of the kingdom. That's
Coming of the kingdom.
that's pregnant.
Yep. So the coming of the kingdom. Actually, to be honest with you, when I was reading this is actually what pricked.
I thought I figured as much when you
Yeah,
said Luke
that
17.
yeah. This is what pricked it from verse 20. Really was let's to do a study. It was like I heard it clear. Do a study on the whole chapter, but it was basically this that really pricked me from 20 on. So we're at Luke 17, verse 20. All right, the coming of the kingdom.
Come on,
The title says.
come.
That's right. Kingdom
Please
come.
come.
So it says, being asked by the Pharisees when the kingdom of the Most High would come, he answered them, the kingdom of the Most High is not coming in ways that can be observed. All right, Salah on that. The kingdom of the Most High is not coming in ways that can be observed, nor will they say, look, here it is, or there. For behold, the kingdom of the Most High is in the midst of you. Yasharah. Verse 22. And he said to the disciples, the days are coming when you will desire to see one of the days of the Son of Man, and you will not see it. And they will say to you, look there or look here. Do not go out or follow them. For as the lightning flashes and lights up the sky from one side to the other, so will the Son of Man be in his day. Actually, I'm going to stop there and let's go through that. Okay. So verse 20, being asked by the Pharisees when the kingdom of the Most High will come, he answered them, the kingdom of the Most High is not coming in ways that can be observed. What does anybody think that means?
Class.
Anybody?
Your physical eyes isn't going to pretty much see everything come in place.
Matter of fact,
I got a precept later. Whenever
I wonder if it's the same precept I have. Let's go to 1 Kings 19 real quick.
that we ain't got the same one.
It's not the same one? Okay. All right. 1 Kings 19. So like you said, it's not with your physical eyes necessarily, or everyone's constantly always looking for a sign, or if you will, you know what I mean? So First Kings 19, and we've heard this, it's a familiar script. Starting at verse 9. Okay, I'll read out Septuagint.
Oh, you're in Septuagint.
Yeah, I'll read out Septuagint.
I got it.
You got it? Okay.
Is it the same? And what? How does yours read? Start with.
And he entered there into a cave.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Make sure you say it with the chest so they can hear
Elijah.
you. Mhm.
First Kings 19 and 9. And he entered there into a cave and rested there. And behold, the word of the Most High came to him, and he said, "What do you see? What do you hear, Elijah?" And Elijah said, "I have been very jealous for Yah Almighty because the children of Yasharal have forsaken you. They have digged down your altars and have slain your prophets with the sword. And I only am left alone, and they seek my life to take it." And he said, "You shall go forth tomorrow and shall stand before Yah in the mount. Behold, Yah will pass by. And behold, a great and strong wind rending the mountains and crushing the rocks before Yah. But Yah was not in the wind.
But Yah was not in the wind,
And after the wind, an earthquake, but Yah was not in the
not in
earthquake.
the earthquake either.
And after the earthquake, a fire, but Yah was not in the fire.
Hmm.
And after the fire, the voice of a gentle breeze.
Or the King James talks about a still small voice.
Yeah.
You going?
Yep, 12 and 13. Yep.
And it came to pass when Elijah heard that he wrapped his face in his mantle and went forth and stood in the cave. And behold, a voice came to him and said, What doest you here, Elijah?"
So it's not in the Big Bang. Everybody wants to hear the thunder crack and the sky roars and the waves go crazy, this not whatever. But it was a still small voice, that gentle breeze. You know what I mean? That subtleness. So when it comes to the kingdom of the Most High, it says it's not coming, right? It's not coming in ways that can be observed. And when you think about that, now here it is, Yasharal, we had the law, statutes, commandments, right? We had the Torah, we had the Tanakh, right? You had the prophecy of Mashiach. Many places in the Torah and Tanakh where Mashiach is prophesied. Moses prophesied about him, right? Where was that at? Deuteronomy 18, I think.
Something not that. Oh, that one is coming.
Yeah, from amongst your people, right? Deuteronomy.
18:18.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go, young fella. Josh, how old are you? Josh, you're how old?
29.
He'll be 30 on the 20th.
There you go. There you go. It always, see? It always be the ones closest to you.
He gonna be 30. He gonna be
He'll be 31 at one point too.
Yeah.
He'll be 70.
No doubt, no doubt.
Somebody separate the women from the men.
It starts at verse 15.
Yeah, it starts verse 15, right? That's exactly right. Yep. So Deuteronomy 18, 15 says, Yah your Elohim shall raise up to you a prophet of your brethren like me. This is Moses speaking. Him shall you hear, right? And jump down to verse 18. It says, I will raise up to them a prophet of their brethren like you, and I will put my words in his mouth. This is Most High. Put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak to them as I shall command him. And whatever man shall not hearken to whatsoever words that prophet shall speak in my name, I will take vengeance on him. So Mashiach is prophesied to the people, right? From the Torah and the Tanakh, right? And our people knew of these prophecies, yet when he came, right? Because he didn't come in a manner that they wanted him to come. Because remember, they were at that time, they were in captivity in the midst of Rome. They were in captivity. So they were looking for their Messiah to come as that lion.
Right.
They were looking for that sword to swing. Right? But he came, born as a child, and he came as the quote unquote lamb. right? The time was not yet for him to, you know, Most High to take vengeance upon the earth for the Mashiach. So our people really didn't have that respect for him. They wanted him to be that king that was slaying that sword.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They was ready to get up out of captivity. So again,
Me too.
right, exactly right. So again, the kingdom of the Most High is not coming in ways that can be observed, and also it's not just. Matter of fact, let's go on. Verse 21. Nor will they say, "Look, here it is," or "there," for behold, the kingdom of the Most High is in the midst of you.
Where 2 or 3 are gathered.
There you go. Where 2 or 3 are gathered, there he is in the midst of us.
Kingdom as well. Yes.
And also to the point that you were making earlier of us being able to endure this thing, endure the adversities, endure the pain, endure the testing, endure the affliction, right? It's that in and of itself is showing the kingdom is in you,
For sure.
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And to lean back on that, going back to that First Kings 19, like the Most High pretty much comforted Elijah that he isn't the only one out here that believes him, that there's thousands that didn't bow the knee to Baal. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So it's showing that even though Elijah did something mighty, something magnificent in the name of the Most High and the character of the Most High, that fellowship and that unity was still needed and is still needed for us.
Yes.
Con.
100%.
Absolutely, man. Don't forsake it,
Don't
right?
forsake the gathering of the saints.
Don't forsake it, man. Don't forsake it. And so the Most High is dwelling in the midst of us, even though a lot of times it may not seem like it,
Right.
but he's here when we gatherings like this or wherever we're gathered, or like I said, going through different adversities, and you still calling upon the name of the Most High, you still praising the Most High. In my prayers, I ask the Most High to honor our efforts, to honor our efforts. You know what I mean? Not, we read last week, not that we're looking for a pat on the back or anything like that, but that the Most High would honor our efforts, because we don't have it all together, right? We're reaching, we're grabbing, right? We're trying to get back in good graces with the Most High. So pray that He will honor our efforts. But again, when we're doing these things, man, the Most High is in the midst of you. And what's it? Yahushua said something in John 5:39. John 5, verse 39.
You search the scriptures.
Yes.
39, just 39.
39:40.
John 5:39. You search the scriptures. And what are the scriptures? When he says this. Right.
Torah to not.
Right. Because you think that in them you have eternal life. And it is they that bear witness about me. Yet you refuse to come to me that you may have life.
So you search in the scriptures because you think that in them you have eternal life. Right. Again, remember what the saying: the kingdom of the kingdom that's coming is not coming by observation. It is they that bear witness about him. The scriptures bear witness about Mashiach. Yes. So us following Mashiach, yes, us doing the things that Mashiach did, us keeping the law, statutes, commandments, us keeping ourselves away from iniquity, right? That's showing the kingdom coming to the earth. This is why it's so important.
To obedience.
Returning back to righteousness, returning back to obedience.
Right? Now, not just the southern tribes, but
everyone together.
Because the southern tribes were, well, I shouldn't say it. I'm not saying it. Yeah, I would agree with you. Because, we have some Hebrew Israelites today that don't believe.
They don't believe Mashiach.
Mashiach, you know what I mean? Because they are blood.
Right.
And I don't know how many times the Bible it tells you blood alone.
That's it, man. Ain't gonna save you, bro.
Not gonna do it.
Nope.
Yeah, that's also was lucky.
Saying that we consider ourselves as Israelites, whether we individually know for sure or not, but
Right.
that they didn't. So, and that's the Ashkenazis too.
Mhm.
Ashkenazis don't need a Messiah
Right.
in their from their perspective because they're the chosen people.
Right.
So the Messiah is for others versus
Right.
Versus the chosen.
the
Versus
chosen,
the chosen in their
You know.
eyes.
the Mashiach. But we see the interesting thing about it is that's why more people that were from the scattered tribes
Hmm.
yoked themselves to
That's
him
right.
because they knew they were outside of the covenant. And it was their way back to the covenant. So they grasped a lot faster than the Samaritan one. We just read all those. Right.
Well,
We just read that.
Well, just like we talked earlier, just taking things for granted.
Yeah, we take
Right.
It's the
The
whole story to
Judeans-
me is the story of the prodigal son.
Yeah, basically,
Right,
that's
because
it.
the
That's right.
oldest son stayed home.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And then he was perturbed when the
Yeah.
dad made a big to do about the son that had gone away.
Yeah.
Right. And that then if you stay in humility, you as the older brother would be like, my young brother's back.
Right. Yeah,
Praise
exactly.
the Most
Be
High,
grateful.
my young brother's
Exactly.
back. Now, when you get in pride,
Exactly right.
you like, well, hold up. You ain't give me no robe.
Exactly.
You ain't put no ring on my hand. We ain't do a fatted calf.
That's it.
And this dude embarrassed you, which was a crazy offense of what he did, right? Asking for your inheritance when your father's not died
Right.
in our culture is
Right.
insane.
Right.
But that's a little bit of that. So it feels like the southern tribes were like, and to your point, when they realized it wasn't coming back as a physical kingdom, they like, bought this. And you talking about dying?
And
What
again,
kind of Mashiach is that?
and again to that point, it's not. They knew all of this. They knew it. They had the Torah and the Tanakh about the two sticks coming together,
Yeah.
about the Most High bringing the
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, the tribes back
Everything
together.
back
They had all of this. Again, they had the prophecies of Yahweh Shai, yet they couldn't see it.
And the interesting thing about it is it possible, and this is hitting me when you said it, is it possible that because we know a large part of Pharisees and Sadducees weren't us,
too.
That's why Yahweh Shai had to come saying, you have heard us say
That's right.
this, but I say
this.
that,
Right,
because
right,
they wrapped around the axle and off on some other tangents, just like today in especially church in the United States of America. They talking about everything except what the Bible is actually saying, and they twist it that way. So when they hear that truth, it's just, you know what I mean. That's why the downtrodden typically are the ones that are drawn first in.
Right.
You know what I mean. So it's just it's interesting.
It's a lot. It's interesting, man. Yo, Yashiya, you have something?
I don't think I've ever heard a pastor preach that, like the Luke 17:21, where the kingdom is within you. I feel like they always externalize it.
But a kingdom is a church to them.
Yeah, exactly. The church is there.
If
Yeah.
you believe on him. If you believe in your heart and confess with your mouth.
Right.
Right.
That's the kingdom is to them.
Yeah,
It's
that's what
the
that
church.
is. They don't recognize. They want this replacement theology. They want to recognize the church as Israel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, and you'll hear them say spiritual Israel.
Right.
Right. That don't exist anywhere in the.
Outside the kingdom.
That don't even exist anywhere in this book.
Who are they?
Right.
Because they survived, so.
Well, why wouldn't the church? Why didn't the 12 gates still name that?
Right.
Right. Still look.
Which
Everything is
church
12.
was spiritually from?
Everything is still right. The gates have the 12 tribes. Gates have the 12 tribes. I mean, everything about it is 12. The 12 foundations of the jewels, the 12 gates, the trees have 12 manner of fruits. Like, come on, you can't get around it. You can't get around it.
That's how powerful brainwashing is.
There it is. There it is.
It really is.
Yep. There it is.
It's super powerful.
Yep. So
That's why be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Right? Be ye transformed.
Yep.
That is coming out of the matrix.
I'm telling you, man. So that kingdom of the Most High is not coming in ways that can be observed. The kingdom of the Most High is in the midst of us.
Yes, right now.
Right now.
Right,
exactly.
sit here right now.
It's in the midst of us. It's happening. It's happening. Matter of fact, let's go to Baruch. Baruch chapter 2. Baruch chapter 2 in the Apocrypha.
Oh.
Let me just have it. There we go. Baruch chapter 2, verses 30 to 33. I know my Apocrypha reads a little bit different than the red joints, but it's basically saying the same thing. But Baruch chapter 2, verses 30 to 33, it reads, For I know that they will not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivity, they will take it to heart, and will know that I am Yah, their Elohim, or their power, and I will give them a heart and ears to hear, and they will praise me in the land of their captivity. So going back to Danny's point, in the midst of adversity, you're still praising the Most High. In the midst of darkness, you're still praising the Most High, right? And they will praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name. Verse 33, and will return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they will remember the way of their fathers which sinned before Yah.
Yes.
Right? So again, when we're doing that, the kingdom is dwelling in the midst of you. The kingdom is working.
Yes.
Even now, the kingdom is working.
Yes.
Right? Malachi 3, 16 through 18.
I also feel like we're the manifestation of the kingdom working around us too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
That's exactly right. That's exactly it, huh? That's exactly right. Yep. I mean, again, I always go back to the job that we're going to have to do, man. You know what I mean? Again, judging righteously over not just men, but the angels. The angels as well. Think about that. Think about that. You'll have charge over men as well as the Mala'ak, as well as the angels. So, and so this is just me talking. I believe, like Danny was speaking about earlier, just, going through the different testings and things like that. Again, we're being proven. Danny and I spoke last week, right? I said, this is boot camp.
Yeah.
We're in special forces.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're in special forces being proven for the Black Ops mission. That's basically what's taking place, right? And Most High is proven to see, if you ever watched the Navy SEALs bud training, whatever, you know how they weed out the weak ones.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Because for a whole week, for a whole week, these cats don't sleep.
Oh, yeah,
They're chilling in
next level.
freezing water. Like, the training is crazy. So this is what we're dealing with. We're in special forces training. Most High's proven us to make sure that we're fit for the task at hand. That's basically what's
That's
taking
why
place.
Paul show always talks about analogies of soldiers and athletes.
And that's it.
Right.
That's right.
1 Corinthians
Exactly
9,
right.
I think it is. All the runners run, but only one receives the prize.
Yep.
So running such a way as to receive a prize. They run to get a prize that will not last.
Right.
We run to get a prize that will last.
Lasting.
Therefore, we do not box like a boxer in English, and we do not punch the air, but we beat our bodies
into
and
submission.
make it our slaves. So
Right.
after we have strengthened others, we won't be disqualified. So it still says that's why work out all those who endure to the end.
That's it.
Right. So shall be. So he gives a bunch of analogies about athletes and soldiers.
That's
to your
it.
point.
That's it. All praises. All praises. Malachi 3, 16 through 18. In the Septuagint. Starting verse 6. Thus spoke they that feared Yah, every one to his neighbor, and Yah gave heed and hearkened. And he wrote a book of remembrance before him for them that feared Yah and reverenced his name. And they shall be mine, saith Yah Almighty, in the day which I appoint for a peculiar possession, and I will make choice of them, as a man makes choice of his son that serves him. Then shall you return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, and between him that serves the Most High and him that serves him not. Mm, mm. Kingdom of the Most High is in the midst of you.
Sound like sheep and goats.
There it is. Yep, the wheat and the tear. Isaiah 60. This one I love. Isaiah 60. Because I'm telling you, like I always say, you don't have to know who's watching, but believe you, people are watching. They are watching. And especially now where, the whole Hebrew Israelite thing is out there now. It's out there. You know what I mean? So, some people they're looking at just the brothers on the street, this and that, whatever. But then you have others that are starting to, get it. You're right. And they're starting to discern where, okay, no, I think these people might be the people, just like the daddy's point, what he was saying, like how does the people that have faced so much adversity, still walk around with a smile on their face, still praising, still doing, X, Y, and Z. How? I literally just heard a white guy saying the other. I think he was lecturing. I can't remember where he was lecturing, but that's basically what he was saying. These people have gone through hell and high water, and yet they're the most,
Faithful.
right, faithful, and what do you say? Oh, the most jubilant people. He said, "You ever gone to what do you say? You ever gone to a black church?" Now we know church in and of itself is not the most high, but you just think about that though.
Yes.
The praise and you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean, in the midst of the storm, you know what I mean. But Isaiah 60, people are watching, man. They're watching. Isaiah 60. I want to read verses 1 to 3. Then I'm going to skip around. So Isaiah 60, verse 1. Be enlightened, O Yahweh Shalom, O Jerusalem, for your light is come, and the glory of Yah is risen upon you. Behold, darkness shall cover the earth, and there shall be gross darkness on the nations. But Yah shall appear upon you, and his glory shall be seen upon you. Okay, so that's now. His glory is appearing upon you, right? And his glory shall be upon you, and kings shall walk in your light, and nations in your brightness. Because think about it, we can't do anything without the Most High, right? We can't do anything without his Ruach. So again, when we're dealing with testing and all the trials and tribulations, we're not overcoming for the sake of overcoming. We're overcoming because the Most High has put, an anointing upon us to be able to endure, right? To be able to endure, to be able to want to learn of him, to be able to want to continue in this walk and continue to have faith, right? I said, King shall walk. Where did I leave off? Verse 3?
3.
And kings shall walk in your light, and nations in your brightness. Verse 5. Then shall you see and fear and be amazed in your heart, for the wealth of the sea shall come round to you, and of nations and peoples, and herds of camels shall come to you. Verse 9. The isles have waited for me, and the ships of Tarshish among the first, to bring your children from afar, and their silver and their gold with them, and that for the sake of the holy name of Yah, and because the Holy One of Yasharal is glorified. And the sons of them that, verse 14, and the sons of them that afflicted you, and of them that provoked you, shall come to you in fear, and you shall be called Zion, or Tazayawan in Paleo. You shall be called Zion, the city of the Holy One of Yasharal. Praise. Wisdom of Solomon 5. I'm just going to read 1 to 3.
Don't pray reparation moment.
Straight up. You know what I mean?
They say you're gonna bring all that stuff.
They're gonna bring it. They're gonna bring it. The wealth, right? Exactly right. They will, right? And Pharaoh said, "Here, get up out of here and take this with you."
Take it.
All right.
Take it.
Well, he says the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. All right. Wisdom Solomon 5. Yep. 1 to 3. Wisdom Solomon 5, 1 to 3. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. That's what we were talking about earlier, right? And made no account of his labors. Verse 2. When they see it, meaning the other nations, all the other people, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear.
Yep.
Right? Doesn't that one text in was it Matthew 24 or Luke 21 where it says um their hearts will be failing them for fear of what's coming upon the earth?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So verse 2, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation.
Really?
Right. These are the people, right? So far beyond all that they look for. Verse 3, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes as derision and a proverb of reproach. These are the people, these cats right here. So think about that when that comes to fruition, right? The midst of the kingdom of the Most High is in the midst of you, and the Most High brings his glory, puts his glory upon you. All right, well, let's read this real quick. Romans 8, verse 18. Real quick. Romans 8, verse 18. Man, I got goosebumps. Quick, man. Goosebumps. Man. Romans 8, 18. It is one of my favorite verses. He says, for I consider, listen to what this is saying. You just say live joint. For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed to us. I think King James says in us.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. For I consider the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed to us. And I'm telling you, when these people see it, I'm telling you, their hearts will fail them for fear. These are the people. These are the people that we were oppressing. These are the people that we were calling out their name and this now, whatever. They were the people. You mean to tell me that all this time we were blessing the wrong people?
What's the scripture that mentions light afflictions?
2 Corinthians 4. Yep, 2 Corinthians 4.
The glory far outweighs them all.
Yep.
For we do not think loud on what is seen, but what is unseen.
Unseen.
And it's temporal. What is unseen is
You read it in Romans 8.
Say it again, out.
You read it in Romans 8.
Say it again.
Oh, he thought
I said, keep reading in Romans.
Oh, you keep reading. Oh, okay. I was like, oh my gosh. I got Romans 8. All right, so Romans 8, so starting at verse 18. Says, for I consider. Say it again.
To verse 23.
Okay. For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed to us. For the creation waits with eager longing for the revealing of the sons of the Most High. That right there always gets me. The creation is waiting for us, y'all. Verse 20, for the creation was subjected to futility, not willingly, but because of him who subjected it in hope, that the creation itself will be set free from its bondage to corruption and obtain the freedom of the glory of the children of the Most High. Verse 22, for we know that the whole creation has been groaning together in the pains of childbirth until now, waiting for us to get our act together. Verse 23, and not only the creation, but we ourselves who have the first fruits of the Ruach, or of the Spirit, grown inwardly as we wait eagerly for adoption as sons, the redemption of our bodies. So just we said earlier, right? Hope deferred makes the heart sick, right? When that desire comes, that's it, man. Telling you, that's why we do it, line upon line, precept upon precept. The Most High is saying. So when the Most High, his anointing be upon us, and again, we don't have the fullness of it yet at all. But when His glory is revealed to, I'm telling you, these people are gonna go crazy. They're gonna go crazy. You want to read that 2 Corinthians 4?
Yeah, and also to what you were reading earlier.
Thanks for that out.
Just lost it, but we're saying the kingdom is not something that can be observed. 24 and 25 in Romans 8 says, "From this hope we were saved. Now hope that is seen is not hope. For who hopes for what he sees? But if we hope for what we do not see, we wait for it with patience."
That's right.
With patience.
And this heaven is good too.
You're good. Bring it out.
Likewise, the Spirit helps us in our weakness, for we do not know what we pray for as we ought, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words.
I know that's right.
And He who searches the hearts knows what is in the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes for the saints according to the will of God.
I know that is right.
All things work together for good.
Yep. Those who love the Most High, for those who are called. And I know I like the way King James says, who are the called.
Oh, yeah, I like that better.
Yeah.
According to His purpose.
Too much wisdom in this book. It's amazing. All my social medias are just like kind of optimized for like wisdom and stuff. And I hear all these people speak, and then you read these words in this book, and it all comes from the Bible. Like most of the wisdom
Exactly right.
I hear, and
They just try to remix it like they.
Right.
So if you look at going to 26, going up, because you know we're talking about spiritual and then the physical.
Mhm.
So if I'm praying, then I just need to be quiet. That's where the whole being still and being quiet comes into. It's my opinion. Because if I'm starting to talk, now I'm adding physical stuff to it.
So what does 26 say?
Says likewise, the Spirit also helped us our infirmities. I can see, for we know what not we should pray for, but we ought to be. But I need my life to see nothing.
But the Spirit
Intercedes.
Spirit Himself intercedes for us.
Not that
we
one,
don't
on
need
this
too
one.
deep.
No, this is cool. Yeah, no, I can see.
You got it? Okay.
No, we go. Don't.
I know, it was just the sun.
Now that right there is deep, man. You know,
I can't see a damn.
Spirit helps us in our weakness, for we do not know what to pray for as we ought. Think about that.
Yeah, as we are.
Think about that. We don't know what to pray for as we ought, you know, because you got a lot of people praying for stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Most people are praying. Most High already knows what you need before you speak it, regardless.
Exactly right.
Be present, listen to, like Chris always says on the podcast. You know, I just say, he's just trying to be quiet and present.
That's it. I mean, you know, and then, you know, Mashak said what? He will supply all of your what? Needs according to His riches and glory, right? But most people, because we've come up in this construct or whatever, you know, we trying to, it's prosperity. You know what I mean? I'm trying to floss this and that, whatever. I need this, I need that, this and that, whatever, or I want.
Right, but we turn them into needs.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. It becomes a need. Well, you know what? I need that new Ferrari. You know what I'm saying? That I saw it. Right. Exactly.
We about to get a new TV.
But you see?
You better get one.
Right.
It's for ministry. It's for ministry. Myers TV was bigger than ours, so we have to.
Exactly right. But it's real though, right? I mean
And that's also Matthew 6:13. Don't worry about what you should eat, what you should drink, what you should seek ye first the kingdom, and all these things be added to you. And it don't mean that all these things gonna be added to you like full cow with garage, because you don't care about that anymore, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? If you're focused on the path and the right thing, then you're not focused on a bunch of stuff, material stuff. Because we're not material people.
Right.
No, we're not.
We're not.
Not at all.
The kingdom is not what you can physically see.
No.
That's what
That's what we just did. Yeah. Go back to. It's not coming, but was it by observation?
John 18:36, if I'm not mistaken, I was out before Pilate said, "My kingdom is not of
Not this world."
He said, if it was, my people be fighting.
That's it.
You know what I mean? My kingdom is not of this world. So it's not. This is not our kingdom. And the Bible clearly says in 2 Corinthians 4:4 that Shaitan is the ruler.
He's the ruler of this realm. You know, we are pilgrims passing through. We are not supposed to be, you know, wrapped up in it. Like he said, lay up your treasures in Shemayim.
Yeah. Where they won't.
Where nothing corrupts.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
We're stuck in the video game.
Yep.
I didn't realize.
And a loop.
And if Chris was here, he'd say Psalm 83. 283, crafty counsel.
Crafty counsel.
Yeah.
Because that's, I
Absolutely.
mean, again, we did it to ourselves. That's where all the
Absolutely.
came from back on. We did this
Absolutely.
to ourselves. They didn't do anything. to us.
Exactly right.
Right. Now they're taking advantage of it per se, but we did it to our own selves.
Absolutely.
So we can't point fingers at anybody.
Nope.
What question did you ask at the beginning when you read that? You asked like some question about
I can't even remember.
Luke 17:21 about the kingdom can't be detected by signs. Do you remember what?
Oh, I said, you know, when I read what he quoted, the kingdom of the Most High is not coming in ways that can be observed. Like, what does anyone think that means?
So what do y'all think that means? Is it like a freak? Like what do y'all think?
So it's spiritual. Like, I gave the example that with our people in captivity at this time, even with Yahweh Shai, even though they had the Torah and Tanakh, they had the prophecies of him and what he was going to do and things of that nature. When he was there in front of them, whatever, and I think there was prophecy of even how he was going to be born, everything.
Yeah.
But they didn't see it.
Yeah.
Because he didn't come in the way that they were expecting.
Physical deliverance.
Right. They were expecting, the whole outward king appearance, if you will, the majesty and this and that, whatever. But here he is, born in what they say, or maybe were born in a stable or whatever the case may be. You see what I'm saying? So he didn't come in the way that they thought he was going to come, swinging that sword and getting them out of captivity. So, so a lot of our people just didn't believe. Matter of fact, I think it says in Nazareth he didn't do miracles there because they didn't believe him.
A prophet can't do miracles in their own hometown.
Right. He said it.
I didn't even say anything.
You know what I'm saying? He said the prophet is not without honor, but only in his own country and around his own countrymen, his own household. Right? His own people who had the prophecies of him, they couldn't see it. So,
and I would say, and also, don't say because the star went through the sky at this angle, you know what I mean? Because we did observe the signs and seeds. So he's telling you that my kingdom is not coming in ways that you can observe from that perspective, because obviously they knew what the star, quote unquote, Bethlehem, that the Mashiach would be coming in the whole nine. Because I'm trying to tell you that it's here.
That's it.
It's here because it's a spiritual kingdom, and where you are gathered.
Where you gathered,
the kingdom is.
It's in the midst of it.
That's the most powerful statement that can be made. Is the kingdom is where you are.
Wherever you are is the kingdom.
Papa was a rose, wherever he laid his hat was on. Wherever we are, he is. I say that all the time, but you can't separate us. It's wherever we are.
That's it.
He is.
He is there.
Into that frequency to the
right.
That's a given. I'm just saying, wherever we are, I don't mean just black people. I'm talking about wherever we are, he is.
Yep.
Right? That's the kingdom. Now we're going to experience it, right? Physically.
Yep.
I say that meaning like 1,000-year reign, where you know what I mean, that transition, but then
right. But I mean, just to that point, again, it's not coming in ways that you can observe. So again, it's in the midst of us, we're gathering, we're waking up, we're calling on the name of Yah, it's not whatever. And yet there's still people that still can't see it.
No, they can't see it. No. Mm-hmm.
Also, if you think about it too, like with the miracles, like with him casting out demons, healing people, healing the sick. If you think about the kingdom, there ain't gonna be none of that in there. So that's like a testament to the kingdom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Jen, you got something?
Yeah, I was when you guys were talking about how we're not a materialistic people. We know that's our treasures are in heaven and they're coming, or Shemayim, I should say. We're going to be prosperous in the future, but that's not for us possibly right now. I mean, like you said, we'll have our needs met, but it made me think about how we are soldiers of Hamashiach, and that's at 2 Timothy 2:1-3. It says, "You therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Hamashiach Yahushua HaMashiach, and the things that you have heard from me among many witnesses, commit these to faithful men who will be able to teach others also. You therefore must endure hardship as a good soldier of Hamashiach, Yahushua HaMashiach. And so I remember years ago, actually, when I was still in Christianity, Thomas and I had stopped going to church and we were just in our word, like every day in our word. And I'm telling you, the Most High gave me this whole analogy of how soldiers, like you said, and when you said, oh my goodness, special ops, those are the words that I wrote down, special ops. We are in training for special ops. We're supposed to be going behind enemy lines and rescuing POWs. And these POWs don't even know that they're POWs. They don't know that they're prisoners of war. Our people don't know that. And so we're soldiers. So when you think about soldiers, they are committed to their mission. They are not trying to settle down wherever they are and get, good things and materialistic things. They are on a mission. And their mission is to rescue, sometimes it's to rescue POWs. That's special ops. So yeah, we got to go through stuff because it's boot camp, it's training. And my husband is the military, from the military. I don't have any military background. And I mean, I was hearing this in my spirit and I wrote it down. And just this week, he brought it back to my memory. I have to find that journal that he gave it to me. And I know sometimes you say we don't believe in personal interpretation, but I believe that the Most High can talk to us as long as it lines up with the word. And
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? And it's just so crazy to hear you guys talking about when he talked to me this week, and then he gave me like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, more like 5 years ago. And I didn't even understand it because had a Christian mindset.
And I reinforcing what you're saying in the sense of boot camp. That's where, to me, a large part we've been focusing, not so much in the word boot camp, but the whole thing. Sometimes, I'm a personal experience, getting drafted, going to the league. I've been playing sports my entire life, and I've endured my entire life. I got to Tampa, Florida, and it was the hardest thing I ever went through in my life. So much so that I sat. I had more money. I had seen a check that I couldn't even imagine in my life for when I got my contract signed. And one weekend, it was 5 more weeks left of 3 days. And I'm sitting on the edge of the bed.
In Tampa.
And I'm sitting on the edge of the bed because we're in dorm. I'm sitting on the edge of the bed and all the receivers were in a suite together. And all the vets came by and chuckled. And they said, dog, get on up. Because I was contemplating, I'm going to get them their money back. I can't do this. And I'm not one to fold typically, but it was that difficult. So I say that to say we sometimes we take the words that we see and we need to sometimes multiply the hell times 4. You know what I'm trying to say? So you're prepared for it. Because there's going, as she mentioned, it's going to be tough. If you're going to go behind enemy lines and you're sent to do those things, you got to be prepared beyond preparation. You know what I mean when I say that. And it could get deeper. And sometimes that's where people waffle. It gets too hard. It's harder than they thought it would be. And I was at that point in the physical that I was like, I don't know that I can survive 5 more weeks of this. So I might as well just give them their money back now and go back to the crib and get a job. And I'm dead serious. And the vets came by and they laughed. They were like, and they didn't really ask me what I was thinking. They all had that look before. And they said that. They said, dog, we've been there. You gonna make it. And that was almost like when Yahshua was praying, take this cup from me, and it says the Malachim strengthened him. Those words woke me up from the being about to fold, for lack of a better word. But it was tougher than I imagined, and that's how I like to think about these things, is because, as you mentioned, you had been praying and praying, and then at some point in time, you're like, oh, come on, what?
Right.
You know,
Right.
and then you get inside all that I did and all I've been doing. You
Right,
know what I
exactly
mean?
right.
You know how that goes.
Exactly right. That and we
No, that-
we know that last week, right?
Yeah,
You know,
so that-
expecting. You know what
Well,
I mean?
it sounds like it's the expectations.
Thank you for that, Jim.
and limitations that we put on it. So when we're talking about spiritual things in a physical realm,
Mhm.
we're limiting it by putting those expectations
right.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
those
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
limits on things that the Most High is working in the spiritual realm. So I
Absolutely.
think that's where we get, once we get caught in this physical, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I think transition into that is if you are grateful, the mindset you're talking about, like just for every small
Exactly right.
thing, that will carry you over here
Yeah.
instead of being dependent on this physical realm.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So that's what that's what I got from it today. I'm like, that
Absolutely.
will make a lot of sense and help me to be able to be more on this side
Exactly right.
than on this side,
Exactly right.
more on the spiritual side
Yeah.
than the physical side. So,
That and what I always say as far as again, because coming up in Christianity, it kind of individualized it.
Yeah.
But when you know that
It's a team.
it's right, it's a whole squad.
It's a squad.
You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
whole squad. We're in a whole nation, and I know for myself, it's like what I do affects the nation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What I do affects the nation. I mean, that has been hitting. I mean, that has been hitting me from a long time. Like even when we were in Christianity, but again, we were Torah Tanakh in doing this. So a brother had put me onto that. It's like, yeah, what you do doesn't just affect you; it affects your family. It affects the entire nation. So when you have that humility, say, okay, you know what? When you're going through testing, when you're going through trials and tribulations, you know what? I got to do this because it's not just for me.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not just from I'm doing,
For the
I
nation.
got to do. I'm doing it ultimately, for the Most High,
For the
but
Most
it's
High.
for the nation.
To get back.
You know what I mean? So somebody else can again maybe see or hear that testimony and be strengthened because we were talking about earlier. I know for me, if I'm going through something, right? If I'm dealing with something or I have an issue, this now, whatever, I don't want to hear from someone who hasn't gone through that.
Yeah. And especially on script. You ain't
Right.
been through none of
but
this
don't
stuff.
tell me how I'm gonna be all right when you haven't even.
You haven't gone through it.
Right.
How you gonna tell me how to raise a child? You don't have one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you haven't gone through, how can you tell me really anything about how to go through? So, this is where we are, the testing, the trials, and being able to endure and being able, to cross over that, because again, you might get over that hump, but there may be another one
there's
waiting
some
for you.
humps, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If you're going, you gotta keep getting stronger and stronger.
You got to keep getting
It don't
stronger.
happen in one
That's it.
weight
Glory to glory, man.
room session, right?
Glory to glory.
And the teamwork piece, I know we've all been there playing sports, is that you running wind sprints at the end of football practice. I'm sure y'all did the same thing. It's when you look down the line, if I was out there by myself, I would have stopped. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, okay, 8 is enough. But the coach is determining that. And you look down the line, and it's the team that drives you.
Yeah.
I can't be the weak link.
That's right.
You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Right.
Yep.
So I got to go push myself beyond. That's why you don't forsake the gathering of the saints, because when you suffer in isolation, that's a dangerous thing.
Yep.
Well, the devil, seeks. You know what I'm saying?
That's where he's
looking.
looking for.
Yeah.
He's looking. And that's I've seen people who have gone through and then isolated themselves and can't make the return.
Can't make the return.
Right.
Yep. I've seen it.
That's why you don't do
Dangerous,
this
man.
on your
Goes
own.
too far down.
Dangerous, bro.
That's dangerous. And
Dangerous.
pride comes before destruction. That's
That's right.
pride in different way. I don't want to admit that I'm broken.
That's right.
That's right.
Right. So I'm just gonna suffer in silence and then get myself destroyed, as opposed to yoking myself and say, listen,
Exactly.
going through. You know what I mean?
Exactly right.
I ain't gonna waver. Now, y'all don't, they ain't gotta give me a bunch of scripture, but just the fact that we're still congregating together, right? That power amongst that energy and vibration amongst the people keep you moving.
Exactly right.
You know what I mean?
That's huge. That's one thing we would definitely say. Do not isolate
Oh, yeah,
yourself.
that's the most.
Yeah, it's a verse in Galatians 6 that talked about, casting your burdens on the body. You know what I'm saying? Not putting all on yourself. I think it's Galatians 6:3, I believe.
It started at the top.
Start at the top, one of y'all. You got it, man?
What's that? Galatians 6.
This is the important part of what we're talking about, right? About team and soldier and all that stuff.
Exactly right.
It's like,
I pray
Danny,
this is.
thank you so much for those words. I really needed to hear that right now. For those of you that don't know me, I've been going through some physical craziness over the last year. And Myron's been my help in fighting endurance with all the stuff he's been through. And Danny, those words about you going through what you went through when you were in training in boot camp, that helped me a great deal. I appreciate it.
all praise.
All praises. All praises.
Iron sharpening iron.
That's it.
Galatians 6.
6, right?
Yeah.
You want to read it, Trav?
Trav, you brought it out.
Give me 1 second. Yeah, I think it's just 1 through. I'm gonna read 1 through 1 through 3. Galatians 6, verse 1. It says, brothers, if anyone is caught in any transgression, you who are spiritual should restore him in a spirit of gentleness. Keep watch on yourself, lest you too be tempted. Verse 2 is what I wanted to highlight. Bear one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ.
That's it. Bear one another's burdens. So again, this is not individualized.
He is a beast too.
Yeah.
So if anyone thinks he is something when he is nothing, he deceives himself. So think about the pride. When I said the pride part about it is, my pride says I'm something. I can't tell Scott. Right. You know what I mean? Because my pride has me like, I can't go to Scott and say I'm jacking up, I'm struggling, and whatever, because my pride. So you end up nothing.
That's right.
Yeah, you don't think
You're already supposed to be here.
For if anyone thinks he is something when he is nothing, he deceives himself. That deception is dangerous.
It is, man. It's very dangerous. I've seen it a few times, man. It is dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, in a couple of times, unfortunately, to the point of death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it was, you chose the isolation, right?
Yeah.
You chose the isolation and got off track so bad you went completely left, and honestly, there was literally no coming back. There was no return back.
If anyone puts his hand to the plow and
there was no return back, and death came about.
That,
you know what I mean?
That's why transparency is critical. We talk about this all the time, but that's why transparency is critical.
That's it.
I have a question. So what happens? What do you? Maybe what happens when you isolate to make sure your journey goes to the right sources? Maybe I know I have this problem. I'm open. I don't mind sharing, but sometimes you can share or ask for help in the wrong environment. And after so many of those, isn't there a moment where you just need to quiet, reflect, isolate so that you can find yourself in the right place for the help?
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Mashiach, Messiah, he isolated himself, but in the Most High, because you can isolate yourself and get caught up in you.
What was me?
Right. You can isolate yourself and get caught up in pity and things of that nature. But if you are going off by yourself to basically hear from the Most High about what it is you need to do next, seeking the Most High, that's the difference, right? But most people isolate themselves. A lot of people isolate themselves, you know, like Danny was saying, and it's like a woe is me type of thing. I need to figure out the way I should go. I need to figure out what I need to do next, this and that, whatever. Therein lies the problem. You know, now you're
That's
looking to yourself instead
I
of seeking the Most High.
And I
I
can't tell you. Go ahead,
is is that considered, I think so when I hear that and I translate it to, worldly experiences, I translate that into like a deep depression when you're like so pity, right? And you
Self-pity.
yeah, self pity, a deep depression. Like there's different stages of depression, like sadness, whatever. But this is deep depression when you isolate and you find yourself not engaging with anyone and not even seeking the most high, right? Just really relying on yourself, which we see a lot in the world now with all the suicide rates that's going on.
Yeah, well, anytime we're not engaging or seeking the Most High, we're going to be off kilter. We're going to be off balance. Proverbs 3. Go to Proverbs 3. Of course, this is another.
I also think it's levels to it too, Myron, because you got to think before you get around people who can bear your burdens. In the beginning, it's just you. So in the beginning, you got to separate yourself from, what did it say? The righteous can't dwell with the unrighteous. The believer can't dwell with the unbeliever. You know what I'm saying? So in the beginning, you see a lot of people in the scripture, Paul, Yeshua, a lot of people just desert to isolate themselves, during
And
that
that's
time.
what I was going to bring up too. That this is Mark chapter 1, verse 35. And rising very early in the morning, while it was still dark, he being Yahushua departed and went out to a desolate place, and there he prayed. So with those, I don't even call it isolation, just moments of solitude where it's just you and the Most High, and you're communing with the Most High, you're venting to the Most High, you're allowing the Most High into what's going on in the situation that you go and that situation that you go that's happening to you. This you're submitting yourself to his will, and then whenever it's time to be back around people, you know what to do. You have the wisdom to pretty much express and vent and let others into what's going on with you, so you can release the burden that's on you.
I view two separate things. See that he's going away because the way I read it, he's going away not because he's going through something. He's recharging his battery.
Right.
To me, where I go to with him, Yahweh Shah specifically, is when he went to the garden and brought Peter, James, and John and said, watch and pray.
Right.
And then he sweat blood.
Right.
Right. In some of the verses, it says he sweat blood. So he didn't go in isolation that way. He took his boat. Now they were all asleep. But he took his inner circle, right, with him there and wanting them to watch and pray. Like, watch and pray, because I'm going through it right now. Right. So to me, there's two different things. One is, I set myself in isolation in times where I just know I need to just be in isolation.
Yeah. Right.
Honestly, that's why we're not doing study tomorrow. Right. So, and I just get to a point where I'm like, okay, I just need to retrench and not be thinking I need to do this to come up with an agenda.
Right.
Study thing. Like, so I get in those ruts. So I'm just, that's one thing. Different than I reach out like you with Claudia. That's a perfect example. Right. She reached out to you. I reach out to you, Scott, and whomever else. Right. And I'm like, listen, I'm going through. I'm gonna get through this, but I want y'all, let's rock with me. You know what I mean? Watch and pray. I'm just want to let you know. So now we got that. I view those as slightly different things. One of them is to me is, like Scott said, kind of recharging. The other one is I'm going through some stuff.
I need help.
Yeah, now again, the wisdom of what the sister's saying, he didn't go to all 12 disciples.
Exactly.
He went to Peter, James, and John. So there's wisdom. Claudia's wisdom said, let me connect with Myron.
That's testing the spirit by spirit. By spirit. Exactly right.
When you said,
Child's point.
when the word said, when we were reading, I guess it's Galatians,
Galatians 6.
carrying the burden. Carry one's burden.
Yeah, that's it.
It's Galatians 6.
Galatians 6 too. Bear one another's burdens.
Now, I thought that that we were supposed to cast that on Yah. And then, like, could you, similar to interceding on someone's behalf, like, do you really cast your take on another's burdens? Isn't that for them to go through? Because this is their test or whatever. Maybe pray, but like take on.
It's not necessarily,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's
think
not
they-
necessarily
It's
take it
probably
on.
worded terribly.
Right, yeah, that's what it is. It's wording. It's basically just being there as an ear to hear.
That's it.
You know what I mean? Ear to hear, a shoulder to cry on. You know what I mean?
Carry, that's bad.
Right.
Yeah, not
Exactly.
Like, that's.
Yeah, well, the church is kind of the church is kind of taking that way
Well, mine
left
says
field.
bear. ESV says bear.
Yeah.
Carry another.
Yeah, mine says
It does.
bear. Bear means like I go to Myron and I say I'm struggling with A, B,
Right.
C, D, E, F, G. He's not bearing my
Right.
stuff. He's yoking with
Yeah,
me.
he's joking,
We're
we're
walking.
we're
Right.
Israelites.
You're not. So effectively, think about
Be
this.
careful about that because if you read it like you're supposed to carry your.
Oh, that's what she's
That's to me like not.
Yeah.
Right. And again, that's where, like I said, language and all that other stuff,
Yeah.
you know, kind of play. And remember, we talked about the, so-called New Testament. Got to make sure that when you're reading it, make sure you go back into the Old to kind of vet what's going on. So you don't necessarily see that in the Torah and the Tanakh. So again, to the point,
Yeah.
it's more of just being that ear, that shoulder to cry on. You know what I mean?
It's more support.
There you go.
Support one
There
another's
you go.
burdens.
That's
not
exactly it.
bear, not carry. Or
Not
bear.
carry it.
Well,
Exactly.
bear is a little bit different in my.
Well, mine says carry.
Yeah, I know they cannot be as terrible.
Right. Because the Mashiach says, cast all your cares upon him.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's basically what it is. It's being a support because we are a family.
So guess
We are
what?
a nation.
When Moses' arms got tired, what happened?
Exactly right. And this when he has arms raised, whatever, they were in battle. And
Every time they went down, they got
right,
started
his
losing.
arms went down, we lost. We were losing the battle. So a couple of brothers came in and supported his arms to keep his arms up. You know what I
No,
mean?
I get that. And
Yeah.
that's where I am.
Right.
But I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
that
Well, I don't think you
interpret
can
it as
carry
carry.
anybody's burdens anyway. I can't put myself in
you
your
can't.
shoes.
Right.
So I can't carry someone's burdens in the first place because they don't weigh me like they weigh
Right.
you per se.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say. So it's just a bad. I agree with you. It's a
Right.
bad wording of it.
It is.
Bearing, I get the concept of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is that I'm not gonna. If Scott suddenly stops coming to study,
That's good.
then
That's when you.
I'm gonna be like, we're gonna like, hold up now. What?
Yeah,
What's
going on?
going
Like,
on?
you all right?
You see what I mean?
Yeah. You good?
No,
Mhm.
I'm with that.
That-
I was just like, that wording was like.
Yeah, the wording is jacked up.
Carry, I didn't think that was.
So we all clear on that one, right?
But only if you look at verse 1, it mentions if someone is caught in a transgression. And I look at that kind of as, how we talked last week, how if you have a grievance with your brother, I guess you can look at that as casting anxiety on Yah, but it's still first you're going to a witness. So they're not bearing it, but they're still, you're bringing them into the transgression that was committed. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And helping to restore him back to good graces, if you will. You know what I mean? Helping to restore him back. Because it's like what they say in the military. I think the Marines, right? No one left behind. Exactly.
Or 99 sheep, I'm gonna lead a
Right,
99
not a
and go
sheep,
get the
go
one.
get the one. Right. So no one left behind. That's basically what it is. So if we know a brother, who's coming, this, now, whatever, next thing you know, you're not seeing him anymore, you're not hearing from him anymore, you're gonna go check on that brother.
Yes.
Right? You're gonna go check up on bro, bro, you good? Is everything all right? We haven't seen you in a while, we haven't talked to you in a while, this, not, whatever, such and such and such. And he may be going through something and starting to isolate himself. And we don't want anyone to do that. We don't want anyone, because we know Hasatan goes around seeking whom he may devour. So that's all about.
Nah, I was saying you better go to Proverbs 3.
Oh yeah. Proverbs 3, and this all right, my brother. So this is the last one. And then we'll finish the rest next week and probably go to something else. But Proverbs 3, starting on verse 5 to Monique's point. So again, not isolating ourselves and trusting in ourselves or trusting in man, but trusting in Yah for direction. And this is key. Proverbs 3, starting at verse 5. I'm reading it out of ESV. It says, trust in Yah with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. Be not wise in your own eyes. Fear Yah and turn away from evil. It will be healing to your flesh and refreshment to your bones. So again, when we're, if you are in a position of isolation, again, it's trusting in Yah, it's putting your all, seeking your direction from him. Because we don't have the answers. No man has all the answers. Only Yah has the answers to whatever it is that we need. All right.
Well, I use it because I've heard Jalen say this, and I don't think and I'm not going into detail, but it's been many a times we've been in study, and she'll say, "Now that's helped me."
Yeah.
When somebody says something, cutting in, she'll give a story because I was at this point and I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So that whole "don't forsake the gathering of the saints," so to speak, is that we didn't even know we were helping her, for lack of a better word.
That's exactly
in the sense of the thing, but it crystallized everything for her. She's done that a couple times.
Yeah.
At least in Sunday study. So that not forsaking, because sometimes you get. Sometimes I've been to a point in my past where I had to physically force myself to go because I needed to be in the environment because that way at least my mind would be more stable than me isolating myself, because now it's easy to get off the track.
That's me.
Right. And be woe is me and why is this and I did this and that. But if you force yourself, for lack of a better word, to stay connected, sometimes you don't have to say anything about what's going on.
Right.
As much as the conversation, the reading of the text and all that, you know what, I'm tripping.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right.
I'm
tripping. I've been there, done that a million times, bro.
Right. I'm tripping.
Yep.
So,
you stay engaged, but that's key what Danny's saying. If you just, again, there's times you may not want to, read the text. There's times you may not want to pray. There's times you may not want to fellowship because you feel a certain way. But if you honestly just build up that strength and force yourself to go. Force yourself to be before the Most High. Force yourself to open up the text. I'm telling you, it does way more good than just sitting there isolating yourself, trying to figure out your next steps. That's how most people jack themselves up.
Yeah. Because, the item, we know that's where the adversary.
That's where he's dwelling.
Yeah.
Again,
right
he's
wants
going
you
around.
Not to go. There
you go. Right. Remember, he is the accuser of the brethren. The accuser day and night. Day and night. You know what? He ain't gonna serve you. He gonna fold. He's gonna day and night. He's accusing you. Day and night.
I thought he loved you. He wouldn't let you go
through all this if you loved him. So a lot of times, sometimes you just have to build up that strength to say, you know what? I'm going to fellowship. I know I do it. I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy it because it builds me up. Like I said, it builds me up. To hear. And again, we're all Bereans, right? We're all in the text. We're all digging in the text. That spirit, the Most High Spirit, again, he's in the midst of us. His spirit is working through all of that. So it's helping to build you back up. It's giving you the strength to go on and see beyond the testing. So it's a help, you know what I mean? Like I said, just this study alone, going into Luke 17, and and you're hearing the precepts, and Dylan said it earlier. This book is just full of wisdom. It's full of it, and it's for us.
Sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to, before you guys ended, I wanted to say thank you so much for this, and thank you for my heart felt. I cried a lot today, and you guys spoke to my heart. But I really loved the book of Romans when you were in and spoke on hope, and just bringing it back to just what you were saying. I read most of that chapter 8 while you were speaking, and just verse 6 and 8 just sums it all up. For to be carnally minded is death. So that's everything in a nutshell, right? Just to live in that carnal mind, is death. Anything we're doing in our own mind is we're killing ourselves, basically. So I just appreciate all of this. It really spoke to my heart and gave me a lot of healing I needed over the last few weeks.
Let me give you one more hope. Romans 5. Did we do this today? Romans 5?
Romans 5 now. I don't think so.
Romans 5, 1 through 5. Therefore, since we've been justified by faith, we have peace with Yah through Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Through him we have also obtained access by faith into grace. Grace is protection in Hebrew, in which we stand, and we rejoice in the hope of glory of Yah. Not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because Yah's love has been poured in our hearts through the Ruach Kadash, who has been given to us. I mean, we could keep reading, but I just want to, that's a...
All praises. All praises. All praises. And all praises to the Most High. Again, this is helping me. I always say, I learn from everybody. Everybody. Of course, ultimately the Most High, I learn from everybody. And I enjoy a fellowship. I enjoy coming together. I enjoy the camaraderie of it all. I truly, truly enjoy it. It helps me. It builds me up. It helps to strengthen me. And this is where we are. And this is why, the text tells you not to forsake, the gathering of the saints, not to, forsake, the fellowship of the brethren. We need this. We need it. I mean, again, we, our ancestors, helped to walk us into these curses, and, we deal with a lot, but, thank the Most High that he is in the midst of us to help us, get through it all. So, I thank the Most High for all of this. I, thank the Most High that, people are hearing it and being helped. This is a beautiful thing, man. It almost brings tears to my eyes, but I've always promised myself I ain't gonna be crying on camera, yo. You know what I mean? I always say the thing, Most High, you may be a punk, man, be crying all the time. but it's all good. It's all good, man. It's all good. But definitely love y'all family, and definitely want to thank y'all for coming out, man. But so we're gonna close this portion out, and I'm gonna ask my man Yashiya. Is he still on?
See ya now.
Yeah, Yashiya, can you close us out, bro? If you can. You turn to Jerusalem, if you will.
All right. Y'all ready?
Yes.
All praises. Start out, be out for your good, your magnificent, your holy, your just, your righteous, and reign in majesty, beauty, and in holiness, Father. Thwart for another Shabbat observance, Father, that you have given for us to fellowship, to gather, to meditate, to reflect, and to release into your hands, Father. And we say, Thwart for your word is truth, your word is light, your word gives us the knowledge, wisdom, understanding that we need to sustain ourselves in this land of our captivities and to bring us back into right standings with you, Father, and to endure us and give us the strength to endure the trials and temptations and testings that we face in this life, and then also our God survive through the wilderness and enter into your kingdom, into your son's kingdom and his reign. And Father, I pray that throughout the remainder of this day, that your rest, your shalom, rest, rules, and abide in us, Father, that you strengthen our endurance, that you strengthen our desire to just drink the simplicity of your word, Father, and eat and dwell in the presence of who you are and who your son is, Father. I pray that we don't transgress presumptuously against your commandments, Father. But if we fall short, Father, I pray that you bring us back in right standings with you and with a heart full of repentance, Father, and that you continue to wash us clean, purify us by the reading, application, and meditation of your word, and by the blood of your only begotten Son, who came in the flesh, died, as resurrected from the dead. You will send him forth to bring forth your indignation and your judgment upon all those who set confederacies against you, and upon all those who have rebelled against your commandments. So, Father, you're good, you're magnificent, you reign over all the earth. Praise you, we glorify your name, your only begotten Son, Hamashiach, Yahushai, Hallelujah, 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 Amen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Amen. All praise.
Lord, like Game of Thrones. I looked up like that.
All praise. All praise. Yo,
Game of Thrones.
Tawada, for those who don't know, Tawada is grateful. When we say Tawada Rabah means we're very grateful.
All
So,
praise the Lord.
so for all praise to the Most High. Thank y'all, family. Love y'all. Pray everyone's day is Barak, is blessed. Enjoy the rest of your day, family. And Makash Baya, Most High willing, we will be back on next week. Love y'all, family. Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, family.
So,
All praises.